Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to replace the thermostat on a 3800 Series 3 supercharged engine. This should be the same across the board of 38s. It's a nice job to do as far as if the stat goes bad, is something that you certainly can do yourself. But in any case, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to remove the engine cover. By removing the engine cover, you have to pull the plug out, the fill plug for the oil. Just pull that out, and then the cover lifts right up. And in the back, there's a little clip. Take that out, and your thermostat sits right underneath that housing. There are two bolts on each side, and they're both 10 millimeter. So with that said, here's a 1/4 inch drive with two extensions. You need the length. You also need the length on the socket, so it has to be a deep well 10 mil socket. And then if the gasket needs to be popped out, I'm just use my blade. Of course, thermostat, and there's the new gasket. It's a performance thermostat, so I run Felpros. I've never had a problem with them, and I do enjoy it. The quality, of course. Set that right there. Alright, and here we go. Doesn't matter which side you go to first, but you want to just gently work the bolts loose. One thing I do want to mention also, which is on this car, it's already cooled down. Of course, the car's cooled down, so it's nice and cool, so there's gonna be no pressure in there. I also, over on the radiator, I also loosened the cap just to make sure there's no pressure there as well. But also too, please protect your environment. Underneath the car I have a catch can for any of the fluid that may run down. Shouldn't be much, if any. But there's the first one. Just reach in there and pull it out. Like that. And of course, I also have the other side already loose. And then just go through the top here, straight down. And then just spin that out. And then set your tools down. And this should come right up and out. Just like that. A little bit of fluid leaking. Let me go ahead and stop here just for a second. Okay, what I ended up doing was I ended up switching the spot here with the camera because of I had attached to the heater hose, which wasn't going to work out very well, especially with me lifting it up and out. But anyways, you can see the stat down there, the thermostat. Now I did also go and get a little bit of a pry, like a pry bar. So it was, seated down in there real tight. So all you do is you just take it and just work yourself, work it up. Take your time, take whatever you need to do. But there's the old stat, right there, crusty. Now the thing is that this was a perfectly fine thermostat. It's just that what I'm doing is I'm replacing it with a high performance. This is a Grand Prix, which I'm building for the strips very slowly. It's my daily driver, but in any case, I'm putting performance mods on it. Let me open up the gasket. I hope you can tell, but this gasket has a taper to it. And in the inside of the gasket, there's that indent, like a ring, that sits right into the thermostat, just like this. You kind of work it in there as far as getting it to press in. Fairly simple. It's just a rubber gasket. There. Done. remember, the taper goes down. You want to make sure it sits in there nice and flat and even, because when the thermostat housing goes up on top of it, it has to seat perfectly flush on this rubber. Okay, so once that's seated down good and tight, what you want to do is you want to take a look at the bottom of the thermostat housing. You want to make sure it's not crusty or anything like that. If it is, just take a flat blade or a putty knife or something smooth and just file it down. You want it perfectly smooth, perfectly flat, and no doubt you want it definitely clean. So once that's sitting in there, it's very simple. Reinstall. Let's do this. Just set down very gently. Now, here are the bolts. Again, they're both 10 mil. This is just your regular thermostat housing. Now this one here looks a little special, a little different there. It's simple. It's because there's a clip that presses down on top of this. So this wants to be closer to you, closer to the radiator. Okay, just set it loosely in place and very gently. Just start spinning the bolts clockwise to get them to seat. And you're almost done, guys. Okay, both are right in. And that one down to the bottom, as well as this is now to the bottom. This is just kind of snug it down on one side, go to the other. Make sure you're on it all the way, and then just snug and snug. All right, everyone, just like that, your thermostat has been replaced. But one thing I do want to tell you about, on top of the housing, there's a little, like a brass screw. That's actually your bleeder. I don't know if you can see it, but with that bleeder, as it's running, it warms up. Just crack that bleeder, and what it does, it releases the air. Then you're all set. You're ready to rock and roll. Enjoy the car. Have hot heat, cold heat, any kind of heat. Now mine is a cooler thermostat because I'm going to be running higher compression mods. Other than that, Rude rocks out. Take care.